because Bezos, love what you do at Amazon. Hey, I'm a Prime customer.
Amazon founder Jeff Bezos has once again stirred conversation about Blue Origin's long-term lunar ambitions, this time with a single enigmatic image. Posting on X, formerly Twitter, Bezos shared a black and white photograph of a tortoise. There was no caption, no explanation, no direct reference to rockets, the moon, or Blue Origin. Yet within minutes, the internet began doing what it does best, interpreting. The image quickly amassed millions of views. Space enthusiasts, industry analysts, critics, and supporters alike began speculating about its meaning. Was it symbolic? Was it strategic? Was it a quiet statement directed at competitors, perhaps even at SpaceX and its fast-moving founder, Elon Musk? The most common interpretation centered on one of the oldest and most familiar fables in Western storytelling, the tortoise and the hare. In that tale, the slow-moving tortoise ultimately triumphs over the overconfident hare through patience, persistence, and steady progress. Given the long-running comparisons between Blue Origin and SpaceX, particularly regarding development speed and launch cadence, the symbolism seemed almost too fitting to ignore. Blue Origin has often been characterized as deliberate, methodical, and cautious. Its motto, Gradatim Ferociter, Latin for step-by-step ferociously, reinforces this philosophy. The company has historically taken a slower approach to development, focusing on incremental progress, reusability, and long-term infrastructure building, rather than rapid public milestones. SpaceX, by contrast, is widely known for its aggressive timelines, frequent test flights, bold engineering risks, and rapid iteration cycles. So, when Bezos posted a tortoise without a word of explanation, many observers interpreted it as a subtle message. Slow does not mean stagnant. Methodical does not mean incapable. The race, if there is one, is not won by speed alone. The timing of the post amplified speculation. Blue Origin has been actively developing its Blue Moon lunar lander as part of NASA's Artemis program, positioning itself as a key player in returning humans to the moon. The company has also secured contracts for future lunar missions, signaling that it intends to play a major role in humanity's sustained presence beyond Earth. Meanwhile, SpaceX's Starship program has been advancing rapidly, capturing global attention with high-profile test launches and ambitious plans for both lunar and Mars missions. Musk's company has set an intense pace, often making headlines with dramatic successes and occasional explosive setbacks. Given that context, Bezos's tortoise image appeared to many as a quiet assertion of confidence. The message, as interpreted by viewers, seemed to be this: Blue Origin may move more slowly than SpaceX, but it is building toward long-term success. Just as the tortoise ultimately wins the race through persistence, Blue Origin may ultimately achieve its lunar ambitions through careful, sustained effort. Elon Musk's swift response added another layer to the unfolding narrative. While Musk did not necessarily confirm the symbolic reading, his engagement reinforced the perception that the post was part of an ongoing, if indirect, dialogue between two of the world's most high-profile space entrepreneurs. Public reactions ranged from playful to analytical. Some users embraced the fable comparison, crafting memes that juxtaposed SpaceX rockets with racing hares and Blue Origin vehicles with determined tortoises. Others debated whether the analogy truly applied, pointing out that SpaceX has already achieved milestones that Blue Origin has yet to reach, including orbital launches and crewed missions to the International Space Station. Supporters of Blue Origin argued that space exploration is not a sprint, but a marathon measured in decades. They emphasized that building sustainable lunar infrastructure requires patience, reliability, and long-term vision. In that framing, the tortoise symbolizes resilience, durability, and strategic pacing. Critics, however, interpreted the image differently. Some suggested that embracing the tortoise metaphor might unintentionally acknowledge Blue Origin's slower development pace compared to its competitors. In the fast-moving commercial space industry, perception can be as powerful as performance. For these critics, speed and iteration are critical advantages rather than liabilities. Yet the power of Bezos's post lay precisely in its ambiguity. By offering no caption or explanation, he allowed audiences to project their own interpretations onto the image. The simplicity of the photograph, a tortoise, rendered in stark black and white, created a canvas for speculation. In an era of constant corporate messaging, the absence of explicit commentary felt deliberate. Symbolism has long played a role in leadership communication. A single image can convey philosophy more effectively than a lengthy press release. In this case, the tortoise aligns closely with Blue Origin's established identity. From its founding, the company has emphasized building the infrastructure necessary for millions of people to live and work in space, a goal that inherently spans generations rather than quarterly earnings reports. The lunar focus is especially significant. The moon represents not just a destination, but a proving ground for sustained human presence beyond Earth. Blue Moon's lunar lander aims to transport cargo and eventually crew to the lunar surface. Achieving that goal requires reliability and safety at a level that demands careful engineering and testing. In contrast, SpaceX's rapid test and learn approach embraces visible risk and public iteration. Starship prototypes have famously exploded during development, but each failure feeds into accelerated learning cycles. Musk has repeatedly framed these setbacks as necessary steps toward eventual success. So the tortoise and hare analogy resonates because it encapsulates two distinct philosophies of innovation. One prioritizes deliberate, incremental progress. The other champions speed, iteration, and bold experimentation. Both approaches have merits, and both carry risks. Bezos's post may also reflect a broader narrative about competition in the commercial space industry. While media coverage often frames Blue Origin and SpaceX as direct rivals in a race to the moon, the reality is more complex. NASA has awarded contracts to multiple providers, fostering a competitive ecosystem intended to ensure redundancy and innovation. From this perspective, the tortoise image may represent not rivalry alone, but endurance. Building a sustainable space economy will likely require multiple players operating at different paces and with different strategies. The public fascination with the post underscores how closely people follow the personalities behind major space ventures. Bezos and Musk are not merely executives, they are symbols of competing visions for humanity's future in space. Their social media interactions are analyzed not just as casual posts, but as strategic signals. Ultimately, the tortoise image serves as a reminder that progress in space exploration is measured on cosmic timescales. The moon has orbited Earth for billions of years. Human presence there, whether achieved quickly or gradually, will unfold over decades. Whether Bezos intended the fable reference or not, the symbolism has taken on its own life. In sharing a silent image, he sparked a loud conversation, one that reflects the broader debate about how humanity should approach its next giant leap. In the end, the meaning may be less about winning a race and more about staying in it.